Yes.
Daan, welcome on stage. To the audience, this is SPGPrints, the manager for innovation and development. Daan, the Cooper, the Cooper. Ah,
Kubber,
maybe,
yeah.
maybe Daan will say his name again. And he will tell us how to transition from lab scale to industrial scale equipment in printed electronics.
Well, thank you very much to have the opportunity to present at this conference, and also thank you very much for for the previous presentation. It was very interesting. As Christoph already said, my name is Daan de Kubber, manager of the Innovation and Development Department in SPGPrints. We work on digital as well as on conventional printers for many different market segments, amongst others also for the printed electronics market. I regularly see customers coming in that have developed their own printed electronics device, and they come to us to scale up their production. They have developed a nice product, did that on lab scale, and now they have the first successes in the market, and they need to see a bigger production. But they have developed their device typically on flatbed screen printers, maybe not so advanced as we saw from Inno, but there are much more simple devices, often used in development stages. But as the industrial printers have different possibilities, but also different boundary conditions, we have to redo some of the work of the development. And this, in the end, is delaying the time to market for the customer. And that is why today I would like to present to you my talk on bridging the divide, the transition from lab scale to industrial equipment for the printed electronics. But first, let me tell you a little bit about the background of SPGPrints. We originate from the Stork family. Stork is a big conglomerate of industrial companies. And we are also, Stork is the inventor of the rotary screen printing and the rotary screen printing technique. Next to this conventional printing technique, we also make digital inkjet printers. And with these printers, both the conventional and the digital, we serve the traditional textile market with wide format printers, and also the label and printed electronics markets with narrow printers. On this slide, I made a short overview of some of the typical traditional or conventional printing techniques. The principle of printing can be to have ink on raised parts, as you can see in the flexographic, which is also called letterpress printing, a very old technique. And by that, you transfer the ink to your substrate. In rotographic printing, you have cavities in a roll, and in those cavities you pick up the ink and then transfer it to the substrate. And then planographic, the third technique, you have a surface, and let's say the ink is already as a pattern on that flat surface, and with that you transfer it, which is also called the offset printing technique. And then there's two screen printing techniques. In both cases, you push the ink through a screen onto your substrate. You also see the capex, opex, so the investment and the operational cost for the different techniques, and the print capacity for the different techniques. And I think in this case, most importantly, also the layer thickness that you can reach with the different printing techniques. And especially the screen printing is suitable for laying down a large amount of ink. Typical demands in printed electronics. In most cases, printing is used to lay down a graphical image, and that basically only should look nice. In contrast, in printed electronics, the demands are very different. You typically want to mimic a PCB and have narrow lines close to each other with a predictable low resistivity and of course a low resistivity, and of course no shortcuts or breaks or malfunctions in the electronic circuit. The request, therefore, from the printing technique is to have a high ink laydown to get the low resistivity, and also high resolution to be able to place those lines very close to each other. This is not part of what I want to talk about, but I just want to highlight